Mindset moment today, we're talking about the personal pledge. So, some of you may say, well, what is the personal pledge or what is a personal pledge? The personal pledge is just what it sounds like, personal and pledge, something that's personal to you. And we all know what a pledge is. It's when you donate a certain amount of money or you donate a certain amount of time. It's donating a promise to yourself, basically, or making yourself accountable for something that you're saying that you're going to do. Back in the days, one of the other businesses that I used to be involved with, we would talk about the definition of the word integrity. And we said that the definition of integrity is doing the thing that you said you would do long after the moment you said it in has passed you. So the personal pledge is sort of like that. You're agreeing to do something for your benefit, and it may benefit other people, but it's for your benefit so that it can become a worthwhile effort or a worthwhile venture. So I want to go into this with a step-by-step process so I can make sense of it for you. Now, I can also tell you right now, I recently engaged in a new venture, and it's definitely applicable to me because you have to remember the personal pledge is all about you doing what you say and getting the benefit from it. So you have to stay the course. One of the first things you want to do, write this down. In fact, share this out with anyone that has a problem or an issue or a challenge with commitments and sticking to their guns. Now, one of the first things you want to do is look at what's your objective. Is your objective to make money? Is your objective to save time? Is your objective to save money and time? Is your objective a short-term or a long-term goal? You need to know what your objective is. And after we go through the different tips, the different points, I'm going to make it my business to share with you, or give you an example of what each thing looks like. Okay. So number one is your objective. Number two, you want to detail your personal pledge. Right. So in other words, a lot of times people say they want to do something, but if they haven't documented or written down in some type of shape, form, or fashion what it is that they're going to do, it does not get done. Hopefully, it's done in a structured manner. It's documented in a structured manner so that it makes sense. It's legible. It's readable. It has flow. It has structure. The thing is, you have to be disciplined to follow that detailed plan. So again, number one is you want to have an objective. Number two, you need to detail your personal pledge. And then, why is it that you want to do this? Number three, identify the motivator. Identify the motivator. For those of you that are writing and taking notes, the motivator could be a person, a thing, maybe even a place. For example, what's the reason why you're doing this? What is motivating you to want to do this? Is it money? Again, is it time? Is it because something happened to you or someone did something to you, or because your health or your life is at risk? Identify the motivator. That's very important. And this is going to be a very straightforward, as you know, I do very straightforward trainings. I don't talk for hours on end because, well, number one, people have short attention spans. But I also believe that if you want to help someone, you want to keep it simplistic. You want to make it clear. And if they have questions, of course, you want to answer their questions, but you want to keep it simple. So again, if you're watching this in real time, or if you're watching it in the replay, by all means, share your thoughts, share your questions or your comments. I would love to get back to you. So we're going to move down to the fourth step, which is create a pledge plan. Without anything being done, you always have to have a game plan. And a pledge plan is exactly that. It's a game plan. How do you expect to go about creating this personal pledge without a plan? You've got to have a plan. So that's it. Number four is create a pledge plan, and number five, you want to review your plan on a regular basis. I've done this before, whereas you'll make a goal, a financial goal, and you may stick it to the bathroom mirror. You may stick it on your computer. You may stick it on the door where you have to leave to go out as a reminder. You may put it in different places that you see or that you frequent on a regular basis. And the reason is it's because obviously you want to be reminded of what it is you stand for, what it is you're working towards, and what is the big goal. What is it that you're going after in the longest of long runs, right? So the next point, I think is number six. We're at number six. You need to be able to talk to yourself. That's right. You want to tell yourself you can achieve, and again, that's important. It doesn't matter if it's a personal goal, a social or recreational goal. It could be career oriented, business oriented, whatever type of pledge you're making, whatever the reason for your pledge, you want to tell yourself that you can achieve your pledge. That is, trust me when I tell you, hugely important. So that means you need to have confidence, right? You want to be confident. You want to be assured about what it is that you're doing. You want to feel good about what you're doing. And you want to know that it's obtainable. All right. So let's go to the next one. You want to tell others about your promise. Now, this is the thing that I'm sure many people won't do. They won't put themselves out there. Why? Well, people don't want to put themselves out there because if they fail, they don't have anyone to answer to. They don't have to make up any reasons or excuses. Nobody knows, right? If it's like, hey, I'm going to lose 20 pounds, you've never told anyone. No one's questioning your weight. Or if they have noticed it, they're keeping it to themselves. You don't mention it. So if you get bigger or if you stay the same, no one's questioning anything. So if you tell others about your plan or your goal, people that are close to you, people that are tough on you, and of course, even people especially that want the best for you. If you tell others about your plan, that's a way of being conscious and reminded. Not that you expect them to rub it in your face, but it's something to keep you mindful of what you say is important to you. So tell others about your pledge. And then, when you wake up in the morning, before you go to sleep at night, you should try and visualize your goal, what it is, whatever that goal is. And again, this is something that I do and need for myself and will continue to do and need as I look at different businesses, as I achieve or acquire different goals to achieve. I have to visualize, what does that look like? So how do you visualize it? Of course, you do in your mind, right? But the best way to visualize anything is in peace and quiet. You don't want to have the television on. You don't want to have music in the background. You don't want children running around making noise. So you have to find either a quiet place or a quiet time for your visualization. Some people visualize with their eyes closed best. Some people just visualize by being still. That's like daydreaming, right? So you want to visualize what it is that you want. And you want to put yourself in an environment that allows you to visualize as best as possible. Because when you can see it, and earlier I talked about writing down, detailing your pledge. When you can see it in black and white, and you can see it in your mind's eye, then it becomes real. And when it becomes real, it becomes obtainable. When it becomes obtainable, it's not necessarily as challenging, and it's more likely to happen than not to happen. So let's go over the list again, and then I want to give you an example on how you can actually do this. This is called, again, your personal pledge. This is mindset moment number 35. And if you know someone that needs to learn how to commit to themselves or commit to other people, just keep a commitment. I believe they'll find some jewels and gems in this training so that they can understand what it is they need to do and how they need to go about it. So number one was, you want to remember or create an objective. You need to know what's your objective. Number two, we said you want to detail your personal pledge. Number three, we said identify the motivator, whatever that is. Number four, create a personal pledge plan or create a pledge plan. Number five, you want to review your pledge on a regular basis. Number six, tell yourself you can achieve. Number seven, tell others, about your pledge. Number eight, you want to visualize the final result. So you want to visualize what the pledge end result look like. You want to have it in your mind's eye. And then when I say visualize, I want to talk about this for a second. Where are you? What color is it? Can you imagine the smell, the taste? Can you see what the results of the personal pledge, what it will do for you? Can you go that deep into it, like it's a dream? And to do this on a regular basis is helping to bring it to fruition, bring it to life. You're creating the fruit of your dreams, the fruit of your mind. I know a lot of times things happen and we don't always know why they happen. And sometimes, honestly, good things or bad, they just happen to us and you did not expect it. But sometimes you don't realize this thing here, your mouth, the words that come out of your mouth loosely, they help to create your reality. So you need to guard your mouth. And as this book I read once in church called Learn to Tame Your Tongue. I still am a work in progress. You have to tame your tongue, guard your mouth, and let your mind's eye show you what your end result looks like. So now I want to kind of give you a description on how to go about or what your personal pledge should look like. I talk about knowing your objective. You should always know your objective. Put on my cheaters here. So let's say your objective is, I don't know, to save $500 by the end of the month. And let's say you make, I don't know, $400, you take home $400 a week. Okay. Well, that means you may have to take a portion of your pay and simply put it to the side each week, right? And if you still have expenses, which we all do, you may have to minimize your activities that generate an expense. Okay, so that's important. You have to know that. But you have to say things to yourself and actually write it out. For example, I pledge to be honest with myself. Now, see, this is detailing your personal pledge. You're giving the details on what you're going to do, basically how you're thinking about going about obtaining your personal pledge and being successful in the end of your personal pledge. So I pledge to make, for example, for me, if I need to get a speaking engagement, I pledge to make calls to give my business, I pledge to make calls for the opportunity to speak. I may pledge to give my business card to other people, but not just other people. I pledge to give my business card to other qualified people. So in other words, if I'm going to be meeting a stranger, and I'm able to build rapport, and I find out that they have a need in an area that I have an expertise in, that is a person that I may have qualified, and I'll give them a card and follow up on trying to do business with that particular person or that person's organization. So I'm pledging to do these specific things. I pledge to invest in myself. So you have to understand, it's important that you invest in yourself to become a better person. It's great to have goals and to work towards your goals and to keep your word. But in order for you to be worth something more than what you are today, in order for you to be worthy of someone paying you or giving you finances so that you can go do this great deed, this great task. I don't care if it's carpentry, if it's building a woodshed, if it's being an electrician, being a handyman, you must invest in your trade so that you can become better. For me, it would be going to conferences, workshops, webinars, getting on Zooms and teleconferences and teleseminars and all that sort of thing. And honestly, some of the other industries, it's the same. Those are the same platforms, but you have to pick the platform that has a focus on what you need. Let's see. This is most important. I gave you the 8 different things to pledge, but you must pledge to apply yourself fully. If you're not applying yourself fully, it doesn't matter about you creating a pledge, a personal pledge, or a personal pledge plan, because the work won't get done. That's huge. And a personal pledge, as far as applying yourself fully, that may be simply saying that every day I'll do whatever I need to do, whatever the specifics are, every opportunity possible. It may be every day. It may be every day for 4 hours a day. It may be every day at 6. It may be every day from 6 to 8, or whatever the time frame is. But that's being very specific about how you are intending on applying your personal pledge to reward yourself with your success. Okay, what else? Why is this important? This is part of the, again, detailing your personal pledge. You know the objective. So how are you going to make this worthwhile? Okay, so for me, I pledge to create a legacy for my family and my loved ones. Now, that's very specific to me. You know, you may hear people talk about create a legacy. Yeah, make a legacy. Do you have a legacy? Well, you have to work towards it. And sometimes it's your own efforts. Sometimes it's the efforts of the employees you have. Sometimes you may have family that help you create this legacy, and sometimes not. Sometimes you're just the person that went out and blazed the trail, and now you have this fortune that you're leaving for your family, or you have this thing that's inanimate object that has a dollar amount attached or a value that people want, and hopefully your loved ones will continue to move forward, like Zig Ziglar's family, like many of the greats, the Rockefellers. They're all not here now, not the ones who started the Rockefeller Foundations, but those that were before, the early implementers of what these people, the Edison family, what they stood for. Their family can benefit now. Now, yours may be on that same level. It may not, but your legacy is your legacy. Let's see. I pledge to never run away from my gift. Now, if you know your gift, you really know your gift, it would be a shame to not capitalize and use your gift. Not just because it may have a monetary value attached to it, but because we are all given different talents, gifts, skills, and abilities. And it's like the story about the men who were given the talent. Some saved it, some invested it, and then there was those that buried it. They didn't do anything with it, right? You have a unique opportunity of using the gifts that you have. Some people are great with their hands, others are great with their minds, some are good with their hands and their minds. Use what you have to the best of your ability for your lifestyle and to create a legacy. Okay. And I promise to consult with God in all my decision making. Now, this is the thing. Sometimes, as it relates to your motivator, I'm going to speak for this because this is important. At least it was for me. Have you ever had somebody do you wrong? I mean, do you dirty wrong, whatever, embarrass you, take from you, talk about you, put you down publicly, shame you, all that, right? That may be a motivator for you. If you've ever experienced anything like that, that may be a motivator. And you may want to list in your personal pledge, yeah, I remember that. And you don't necessarily have to be angry, but if you are angry, shift or channel that energy into allowing you to do something positive, something fruitful. You can show them by having all out massive success, and even if it's not becoming a billionaire, the fact that you become prominent with the thing that you do or the thing that you're known for is enough to make them stew in their seats. Another motivator. Remember the time that someone pulled you to the side, gave you some great advice, and helped you get over a hurdle? And they told you, make sure you help other people, and it warmed your heart? Motivator. You see, motivation can come from two ends of the spectrum. It doesn't matter, positive or negative. What does matter is that you identify it according to your needs, and you're able to see it for what it is, and you're able to actually use it, and it helps you get ahead. So remember, your motivator is key in you getting ahead when you make your personal pledge. So just to recap, we talked about your objective. We talked about detailing your personal pledge. We talked about identifying your motivator. We talked about creating a pledge plan, what you're going to actually do, which is what I just finished describing. We talked about reviewing your plan on a regular basis. I know you can't see it, but this is mine. I carry it. It's big enough to fit in my pocket. We talked about telling yourself that you can achieve. We talked about telling others about your personal pledge. And we also talked about visualizing the final result. All of these things are very helpful. Will you do them all in the beginning? No. But if you create your personal pledge in a handy manner that you can take it with you, put it on your computer, put it in your pocket. I mean, even if you don't look at it every day, which you're supposed to, make sure that every time you leave the house, it's in your pocket with your keys. Every time you look in your laptop, it's in your laptop. Every time you look in your jacket, it's in your jacket. So make several copies as a constant reminder, because we are all human and we don't always remember everything all the time. And you want to put yourself in the position to win. So like I said before, I am Sir Charles Carey, and it's always a pleasure to be with you. And I always tell you, you got to radiate the brain and change the game when you're making your personal pledge. Take care.